West Sussex, and welcome back to Season 2 of SportsKnight Radio. I'm your host, Paul Gustafson, and I'm joined, as always, by...
Curran Rastogi.
What's your name? Curran Rastogi. It's been a while, Curran. When was the last time we talked on here?
The NFL draft. Yeah, I think it was the draft.
During that, Part 3 never came out to that podcast, but I actually picked Clyde Edwards-Helaire to the Chiefs at 32.
I also did pick Jordan Love to the Packers. I kind of called it. All
right, but a lot has changed since the last few times we filmed. Obviously, before the draft, we were in school, in the studio. All right, we're at home now. We're on Zoom. We don't have our fancy microphones and headsets. So we're just going to go on the fly here, see how this works.
Yeah, you're going to have to bear with us a little bit, but we're fine.
I know, technical difficulties, everything. Today we're talking about the NFL, right? Every sport is going on right now, pretty much. MLB, the playoffs are just around the corner. NBA, we're in the middle of the playoffs. Let's go Heat. And the NFL
Stanley
just
Cup's
started.
happening right now.
Stanley Cup, I forgot about hockey. Stanley Cup is happening. But NFL really just started, and that is huge, as we all know, because we've been waiting for NFL for a while now. How are you doing in fantasy, by the way?
I am 1-1 in the other and 0-2. Not the team. I put up the third most points in the league last week, and I still lost because our friend Eli's team went off. So, what are you going to do?
I'm 0-2 on two teams. I'm 2-0 on two teams, and I'm 1-1 on a team. So I'm just like solid all around. But after 1 week, 2 weeks, a lot of stuff happens, but stuff that's not going to be permanent. So people like to overreact with the NFL, and that's what we're here to do today. Is we're here to overreact, right?
We are. Yeah, we're overreacting.
So, week 1 was pretty electric. It was just all good football. Week 2, on the other hand, was just injuries.
It was awful. It was just awful.
So who got injured? Saquon Barkley, out for the year. Cortland Sutton, he didn't get injured this week, but he's out for the year.
Yeah.
Nick
Bosa towards ACL.
Solomon Thomas out for the year.
Drew Lock is out for 6 weeks.
Christian McCaffrey's
out for a few weeks.
There's a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas didn't play, Kittle didn't play.
Thomas out, Kittle was out.
There was the whole thing with the MetLife, because MetLife is an awful field, and they didn't rotate the grass, and so allegedly they didn't.
49ers were getting hurt.
Yeah, allegedly that's why the 49ers got hurt, because they didn't the grass was just weird, and so
Garoppolo got hurt too.
Yeah, Garoppolo got hurt. It was just an awful week.
Yeah, so that was that. That's something that, you could say it has to do with the preseason not happening, but you don't know that for certain. So
I am saying.
Injury, that's what you're saying. I'm not, but injuries are a part of the game, and, it's not good, especially for a team like the Giants, who had some hope. I think they had zero hope. But
you did predict them 8-8. I don't say they didn't have hope when you predicted them to go 8-8.
That was a mistake. My finger slipped. I meant to type 0-16. But anyway. So today we're going to be overreacting here. We came up with a couple overreactments, if that's a word. And we're just going to let you know what we got going on. So I'm gonna read mine first here. And I think second most electric quarterback in the league right now, Josh Allen, is the MVP of the league. What do you think?
I just don't agree.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because at the end of the day, Josh Allen is still going to be Josh Allen. He's still going to overthrow guys. He's still going to do it. I know he had problems.
Overthrows.
He had problems. He had problems last year. Who knows if they're gone? He played the Dolphins.
That's last year. This is this year. He's got Stephon Diggs.
He played the Dolphins and he played the Jets. I'd say you should slow your roll down with that.
Okay, but you're going to talk about overthrows and stuff. He still leads the league in passing yards. 729 passing yards. He's got a 6-0 touchdown interception ratio. He is 2-0. He's got a 122.9 passer rating, which is third behind Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again,
Buffalo.
But that's not your MVP. If he's not going to be going to be the most efficient, I mean, he'll put up counting stats, but I don't think.
But you're saying he was playing Miami and Jets, right?
Yeah, sure.
That's what everyone said about Lamar Jackson last year after he went off against the Dolphins.
Yeah, well, I did think Lamar was going to win the MVP. I knew he was going to be really good that year, because I picked him up.
Yeah, but everyone was like, no. He's playing the Dolphins.
I picked him up intentionally.
Josh Allen said, no, Josh Allen's MVP.
All right.
He's electric. He's the best thumbs up in the league. He always does thumbs up.
But this is my take that Russell Wilson, first of all, will not only finally win MVP because he's been the most disrespected player in football. Will not only finally win MVP, but he's also going to put up the best stats in NFL history. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. The Seattle Seahawks offense last year was the most efficient in every way. It had the most. It was like the most.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah, 100%.
Not the Ravens?
No, they're the most efficient. The Ravens had the best offense, but the Seattle Seahawks were the most efficient. The thing was with the Seahawks is they haven't let Russ cook. In these 2 games we've seen so far, one, he's lit up Atlanta with
Atlanta has the worst defense in the league.
Yeah, but Dan Quinn is a Seattle Seahawks assistant coach. He knows what Russell Wilson is going to do. So Russell Wilson torched him. And then he beat Bill Belichick in New England or in Seattle. He beat Bill Belichick. And he lost
a lot of his players.
He also went after Stephon Gilmore with DK Metcalf,
who shouldn't have won defensive player of the year.
So here's what I'm saying. Last year they had the most efficient offense in the NFL, and they threw the least. When you look at like their throw percentage on first and second downs, they usually run the ball on early downs and then get the ball down the field later. But now they're throwing the ball a lot more. They're throwing the ball on early downs as much as a Kansas City Chiefs team is. So they're on the field for longer. Therefore, they're not letting their foot off the gas, and they're winning games. And they're going to win games. The team is much improved, and I think they're just good. Russell Wilson's going to put up some incredible stats this year, and everyone's going to sit back and say, oh, my God, he is so good.
I mean, you look at Dangerous, he has been electric so far. But again, like you were talking about the matchups, I'm not buying the Falcons. He torched the Falcons. The Falcons are the worst defense in the league. I like DK Metcalf. I said before DK Metcalf played a single snap in the NFL, I said DK Metcalf's a top 10 receiver in the NFL. And what has he done? Dominant.
I mean, look, DK's a great player. I think if he got drafted anywhere else, he's not maybe the Chiefs. If he get drafted by the Chiefs or the Seahawks, he's good. But
why not any other team?
Because DK Metcalf I know people are gonna make fun of people made fun of his 3-cone and his route running, but he's really improved his route running. You can tell. He hasn't I don't know how much of a jump he'd make in his route running. Let's say if he went to like the Saints or a team that tends to go to play it safer.
I don't know if I'm buying the DK Metcalf slander that I hear here, but I do respect Dangerous. My next claim here is this isn't an overreaction, I don't think. Is that the Jags, they don't need to draft a quarterback, right? They have all these picks, right? Obviously, they're looking at Trevor Lawrence. But Gardner Minshew, he's electric. Kid is 1-1, right? He almost won his last game. He made a freaking epic comeback. He got a 6-2 touchdown interception ratio, 512 yards. And he's got the best mustache in the league. He was fit for Jacksonville, and it's blowing up right now.
Yeah, I mean the thing with like small smaller quarterbacks, he's not that small, but like the smaller quarterbacks don't have as big of an arm as like taller ones and stuff like that. Is that we don't know how they're gonna work. I've always thought he was more of a transitional guy, but he could definitely stay in the league. He's definitely going to stay in the league for a long time because you have a lot of aging quarterbacks that are on their way out. I think he'll be in the league from now on. I don't know if he's going to stay because I don't think that the city of we need to see the city of Jacksonville come out for him because like the thing with Trevor Lawrence is South Carolina. South Carolina is fairly close to Florida. That's where he was born, and I just think that like he's too good to pass up on if they get there. If they don't get there, then yeah, by all means, you're not going to wait. You just have to. You can stick with Gardner Minshew. But I don't think
is Gardner's been this good because he's been very good since he joined the team. Why do you look to replace him, and why not just use those top picks on players to help him get better? Some more receivers, some more running backs, tight ends, linemen, some defensive players because they have no one on that team. Yeah. That roster's dead besides Minshew and Josh Allen and DJ Shark,
and DJ Shark.
Yeah, but I do like some of their guys that they have on offense there. I like James Robinson, and But they're just they are transitional guys. I think. I don't think Minshew is. I think he's there to stay.
Yeah, we'll see. I just think that if Trevor's there, if they get number one in the draft, which
it
doesn't look like
if
they're not getting number one in the draft, then you're not going to trade up because I mean they have the assets, but there's no point, right? If you have Gardner Minshew and Gardner Minshew kind of shows out, then he'll be the guy for at least one more year.
Yeah.
I have a take, which was just that I genuinely think that Dan Quinn's gonna be the first coach axed. The thing with Dan Quinn is he's the defensive protege of Pete Carroll, and he had all the hype, and then the Falcons went to the Super Bowl, but that's only really now we can see because of Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan was illustrating a crazy offense, and he's just not. They just keep blowing leads. They just keep underperforming. And I think that you got to change something. So you got to change the head at the top. And Arthur Blank is fine. He's okay. He's not a bad owner. So
Arthur Blank's a good owner.
You look at your GM. I don't know. The Falcons GM. I think they probably fired. I don't know if they did. But then you look at the coach. The coach has just consistently blown games, and he's just not there anymore.
On the offensive side of the ball, the Falcons are talented team. Dude, Calvin Ridley's electric. I think he's maybe even top 10 receiver in the league at this point so far through the year. Julio's been disappointing, but Matt Ryan throughout his career has just been stable, just a great quarterback on offense. And they've never had that coach that just takes them. Obviously, they went to the Super Bowl, but what did they do? They blew a 28-3 lead, and they blew a lead almost just as big as that on Sunday against the Cowboys. So I think if they got a new signal caller, then they could be very good.
Yeah. All right, you hit me with one of yours.
All right, Steelers are winning the Super Bowl. Okay, this is not an overreaction. Again, this is called overreactions. This is not overreaction. I don't know if you heard, but Ben Roethlisberger's back, and Ben Roethlisberger is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Chase Claypool, the rookie wide receiver, is electric. He's the Canadian Megatron. All right, he's got already 2 highlights through 2 games. Maybe he pushed off against the Giants, but he's still on the sideline. Nice big catch. 84-yard touchdown, longest touchdown of the year. The defense is amazing. They have the best pass rush in the league, in my opinion. Held Saquon Barkley to 6 yards. Oh, yeah, Steelers beat the Giants, too, by the way. Steelers beat the Giants. Curran, I don't know if you heard me. The Steelers beat the Giants. But T.J. Watt is the best defensive player in the league as well. 2.5 sacks. He got a pick against Daniel Jones for the Steelers Giants. And Daniel Jones threw 2 picks, and the Steelers beat the Giants. And the defense was just rocking. It was electric, and I don't see anyone stopping them.
Well, I'll tell you who's stopping them. There's one. First of all, one is in your division, right? The Ravens are the favorite. If team's going 16-0 this year, it's going to be the Ravens. There's no other team that has the coach. When you talk about coaching, you talk about defense, you talk about a full unit. There's no team that just is better in that regard. The Ravens have just, in my opinion, just like they haven't pulled 100% because they haven't needed to. They've beaten teams so quickly that like who cares? Why would they try? So I just don't think they've had to actually play it 100% football. I also don't think I think that the Chiefs are better. I think that who else? If we're just talking about the AFC, I think that I have to think. I mean, the Browns
You're thinking a long time. The Browns? Dude,
the Browns are tough. The Browns are close.
No,
I think.
No, you didn't have to say the Browns.
Yeah, I think. Look, I think if you follow the same game plan, which is just to open the field out with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, then you may not win, but you're very close. You're right there. I think the Bills have a good defense. The Bills have a great defense. And they have, I mean, if Josh Allen's your MVP, then Josh Allen could potentially ball out on the Steelers defense. That's my, I mean, I don't think they're the best. They're going to win the Super Bowl, but they could. I mean, who knows?
I want to confirm. You just said the Browns are on the same level as the Steelers?
I said they're close. They're 100% close.
Really?
Yeah.
What have you seen from the Browns that makes you say that?
When you look at the Browns last year when you look at them, you saw like their problems were tackle, their problems were coach. Their problems last year were tackle and coach. Yeah, the thing is, Kevin Stefanski has implemented his Viking style offense with Baker Mayfield, who is essentially your Kirk Cousins. He's basically Kirk Cousins. This is fine. That's fine.
Kirk Cousins.
You can win games with that. But they have their Dalvin Cook, which is essentially just Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, which is just better than them. They're working with better options. And I think that as Jedrick Wills on the left and Jack Conklin on the right develop, then you're just sky's the limit for the Browns. They have one of the best edge rushers in football, and Myles Garrett. The sky's the limit.
I'm not buying it. I don't buy into their potential. Their receivers, Odell, Jarvis Landry, they've proved nothing for me to like that team. But let me hear your next pick. I don't want to go off on the Browns too much.
What was I gonna do? I literally forgot. You go for it. You go next.
You forgot it?
Yeah, I forgot.
All right, that's fine. Eagles are going 0-16 is my next take here. I know there's a lot of diehard Eagles fans out there, and they're going to come for me, but their quarterback isn't good. Okay, you heard me. Their quarterback is not good. They lost to the football team. Week 1 of the season, they let the football team score 27 unanswered points. They let Dwayne Haskins, Peyton Barber, Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin. I can't even think of their number 2, number 3 receivers. They're not good. Sorry, I like the football team. They're not good, the Washington football team. The Eagles let them score 27 runs. They have a very good defensive line. Don't get me wrong. But they let up 27 unanswered points to the football team. And then they just got murdered by the Rams. I like the Rams this year. I think they could be really good. But the Eagles, come on, you got murdered. I've seen nothing. Yes, they've been injured, but their quarterback has not shown anything. Their quarterback is Carson Wentz, right? Number 2 overall pick in the draft. I haven't seen that anywhere. I haven't seen any potential, nothing. 0-16 for the Eagles this year.
0-16 is harsh. Like, I think you have to be.
We're going with overreactions here, right?
Yeah, I know, but like you have to be really bad. You have to be borderline dysfunctional. The Eagles they're just not dysfunctional to me. They're not bad. I still think that they can put a claim in for the division because the division
they're in a bad division.
The NFC sucks. I'll admit that. Yeah. But like at the end of the day, the Eagles are struggling with injuries, and Carson Wentz. The thing with Carson Wentz is just we haven't seen him take the step since 2017. When they lost Frank Reich in 2017 after going to the Super Bowl. He's just stayed flat, and then this year you can argue he's regressed. I don't know. And again,
it's early.
2 weeks into the season, we don't know if he's regressed yet, but he looks like he's regressing. So I mean, let's just say it puts the Dak Wentz conversation in favor of Dak right now.
I've been saying it's in favor of Dak for a long time. Do you remember your next one?
Dude, I genuinely let's just play. Just go. Just let it play.
I have one more, and then you could try to think of one here. And I'm sure you could be on board with. No, you're not going to be on board with this. You're a Giant fan. You're a Danny Dimes fan. The Giants need a new quarterback. Daniel Jones is the. You ready? This is overreact. Daniel Jones is the worst quarterback I've ever seen play football. He is horrible, sloppy. I saw him piece together a good drive for the first time in my life. Right, going down, throwing the ball. Saquon. Darius Slayton, they get down into the red zone, right? Daniel Jones drops back. Cameron Hayward, who is electric, by the way, with the pick, a defensive lineman with the pick. He is so sloppy with the football. He doesn't know what he's doing, and they're going to be horrible this year. The Giants, they could go 0-16 because Saquon's out for the year. They need to draft a quarterback with that pick. Daniel Jones, 2-13 touchdown interception ratio. That's not going to cut it. All right, I'm not even a big Eli Manning fan. Eli Manning is way better than Daniel Jones is, and way better than Daniel Jones will ever be. I would rather have Eli Manning retired, come out of retirement and play football. I'd rather sign Colin Kaepernick to come play football. I'd rather get Tim Tebow to come play football. They need to draft Trevor Lawrence.
Paul, here's the thing. You don't draft Trevor Lawrence right now. I'd love Trevor. I'd love to see him in a Giants uniform, but there's just way too many issues. Daniel Jones is fine. He's a good quarterback. He's been good. He's fine. Look at this.
He's been good and he's been fine. I don't know this right now. I'm gonna look it up. What the Giants' record is since Daniel Jones started. Do you know?
It is. So he was he missed 3 games last year, if I'm not mistaken. So he's 4-9 last year. So that's 4-11, I think.
That's disgusting.
Okay, let me talk about this.
Disgusting.
Let me talk about this. So while you're looking this up to try to bury a QB because of his record when he plays on a subpar team with Pat Shurmur.
Subpar team with who's supposed to be the best running back in the league.
Yes, with Pat Shurmur as his coach, with an offensive line that's made of turnstiles.
And that's also something I want to talk about is the Giants' offensive line.
It's awful. It's literally awful. Paul, you're gonna argue. No. Paul, if you, okay, what are you?
I think Saquon Barkley. Everyone says he's this great electric running back. He's like partially electric. He's the most overrated running back in the league. They spend all this time, all this money, drafting linemen, spending money on linemen. Saquon Barkley's not doing good, right? What's the blame? Oh, it's the lineman. When are they ever gonna put the blame on Saquon Barkley?
You want me to tell you? Saquon's not okay. Here's the thing that you're not getting. Saquon is not a power running. He's not gonna run. He's not gonna run.
Saquon, I hope he gets better too. By the way.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Saquon is the GOAT. He's the best running back in the league, and I'll tell you why. Before his injury, because we genuinely don't know what he's gonna look like after his ACL tear. I'm hoping he has an Adrian Peterson bounce back type year, but Saquon is the best running back in space. You give him he is essentially a home run hitter of a running back. If you don't pay full attention to him, he's scoring. He's getting 20 yards. He's destroying your defense. Now, when you look at the Giants' offensive line, first of all, it's a little tough facing 2 of the best pass rushers in the league, facing the Bears pass rush, facing the Steelers pass rush with turnstiles at tackle. Andrew Thomas is okay, but he's not been that great. He was the reason he basically just let Khalil Mack run by him, which is just never good.
What are you talking about?
Andrew Thomas.
I thought he was a great draft pick at number 4.
I think he was okay. I mean, we'll see. He's literally played against 2 of the best edge rushers in the league. So I mean, who knows, right? He played. I mean, I don't think he wasn't matched up against. He was matched up against Bud Dupree. Bud Dupree is pretty good, and then Khalil Mack is still all world. But like when you look at the run, when you look at the Steelers game, because this is what you're talking about. When you look at the Steelers game, they focused all their energy on stopping Saquon. Why wouldn't you? Saquon's the GOAT. But you focus all your energy on stopping one player with one of the best defenses in the league, bringing players inside the box. It's gonna work, and the Steelers did, and it worked. Saquon, when he got the space from catching from those catches, you could see how good he was. Right. The problem is he just doesn't have offensive tackles. So his edge rushers. So you have T.J. Watt, you have Bud Dupree, you have them all crashing in, and he just gets tackled in the backfield the second he gets the ball handed off. I don't know what you want him to do. I genuinely, if you get the ball and get tackled, how is it your fault?
All right. I'm pretty sure I brought up Saquon Barkley. I got us off track. The real guy we were hating on here was Daniel Jones, and I can't find how many. At most, he has 4 wins. He could have 3. I'm not 100% certain, but it's not good. His record's not good, and he's got talented pieces around him. He doesn't have a talented team. He's got talented pieces scattered all over the field, and he can't do anything with it. If you took Patrick Mahomes, well, obviously I'm naming the best guys. I'll go to some mid-tier. Gardner Minshew. If you took Gardner Minshew and put him on the Giants, he'd have at least 7 or 8 wins instead of 4.
I don't know. He just probably wouldn't, because he'd be tackled. He'd be having to run his ass around he'd be having to
swinging it.
No, but he's not. Like,
Gardner
that's the thing. He's good, but Paul.
He's electric.
He's electric in your words, but you can't deal with what I've dealt with, dude. It's been
what did you deal with?
I'm telling you right
You're
now.
You're not standing behind that Giants O-line.
Sorry. He's not dealt with Daniel Jones with what he's dealt with.
He hasn't?
No,
Last time I checked, they both have terrible teams. Giants have more talent than the Jaguars do.
Okay, but Paul, think about it like this. Daniel Jones he actually had a very solid game against the Steelers. Now, look at if you looked at all of the you want me to break? I'll break both the picks
to
down.
linemen, to pass
First pick, TJ Watt, incredible play. Incredible play. That was not an incredible throw. It was a good throw. It was fine. But TJ Watt made an incredibly athletic play. What other defensive lineman do you know that can
no one. That's
actually catch that?
Player in the league.
Like that's an incredible throw. That's an incredible play.
Now tell me about the second pick after that nice long drive he had and got him.
Yeah, that was a bad pick. He should have just thrown the ball away, but it's fine. Like he did well with what he's had. He showed way better pocket navigation this year so far. And he showed more touch on his deep ball, which is exactly what I've needed to see. I've needed to see on it. So at the end of the day, I think he's fine. Daniel Jones is going to be here. He'll be here for like 5 years. It's fine. At the end of the day, like you can't. The Giants are going to lose a bunch of games, but there's just so many more needs. You need pass rush. You need offensive line before you can call Daniel Jones trash.
What I'm thinking of right now is Josh Rosen. I think Daniel Jones is on that level of Josh Rosen, a guy who started for the Cardinals his rookie year, or he didn't start for them right away, but he came in and he was playing quarterback for the Cardinals. Cardinals got the number 1 pick. What did they do? They were like, we need Kyler Murray, and that was a good choice, right? They move on from Josh Rosen. I think the Giants need to do the same if they get that first pick like the Cardinals did. That's the situation I see there.
Look, if we have the number 1 pick, I don't think Gettleman's going to be on their phone. I don't think I don't think he's going to be there. But whoever the GM is needs to be on the phones trading that pick immediately. If we could trade that down, get like 2 mid-round picks. We trade it with Jacksonville for say if they want to give us.
You want to trade the number 1 overall pick for mid-round picks?
If they want to give us 2 first rounders, and we can get 2 if they're like good first round, if they're like I don't know, I'm just making numbers up. But let's say like they have like 3 and they have like 7. We're trading the first pick.
So.
I don't know what's gonna happen. It's probably not. I don't know what's happening.
That's my overreaction. Giants need to move on. They need to move on. Do you remember your last one?
Yeah, the last one is that Dak Prescott is gonna get. Well, he's gonna get the bag this offseason, but I think he's gonna get paid more per year than Mahomes. But that's also gonna be the contract that cripples the Cowboys.
That will 100% cripple the Cowboys.
It's going to cripple the Cowboys because they just have signed too many quality players on offense and too many quality players on defense, and they're going to cripple the Cowboys. But the thing is, what I think is the cap's going to go up probably. Like it's always gone up.
I don't know though. I don't know.
Who knows because of the COVID? Yeah, who knows because of COVID? But I think the cap will go up. It may not go up as much, but I think Dak Prescott is going to get a lot of money because Jerry Jones loves Dak. Stephen Jones loves Dak. The city of Dallas loves Dak. Everybody on that team loves Dak, and they're gonna give him more because look, if you're looking at last week's performance, that's the type of stuff that gets you get the big bucks.
What I'm looking with is he should get more than Deshaun Watson, but not Patrick Mahomes.
I don't think he should get more than Pat. I think
I don't think he will either.
I just think he will because he's just such an integral part. He's the engine that makes them tick. I don't like Dak. I don't think he's that good, but he's
that good?
No, I've always thought. I mean, we have to see. I have to see how he plays this year. But he's always been the second guy on the team. It's always been Zeke to me.
That's true. It's a Zeke show.
It's always been the Zeke show, and then Dak is working behind the scene, and he looks a lot better than he did 4 years ago.
Dak's overrated.
That's what you would have thought.
I
mean, maybe he is because he's a giant. I'm not. Verdict's still out on that. I still think.
Didn't you just say that ended the debate?
No. I said that tips the balance. It's tipping the balance. Like it's like I think before the year. I had like Carson here. I had like Dak here. And now
before the year, this is what I had it.
Now
Dak,
they're like here.
Carson,
Now they're like right here. They're
They're Dak and Carson.
Now they're incredibly close. I think they're gonna probably flip if Wentz just continues to play this poorly. If he doesn't, then the gap may widen up, or they just may move up. Who knows?
All right. So that's your thing, Dak?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Welcome back. We're glad to be back, filming some more episodes. Look for more episodes on the YouTube channel. Curran, do you want to sign them off? Tell them more places you can find The Wire.
You can find The Wire on Instagram. You can find The Wire on YouTube. You can find The Wire on thewestcoastwire.com.
On TikTok.
I don't know if I haven't checked the TikTok. Don't know if we're posting a lot.
I'll throw some stuff on the TikTok.
Okay. All right. Cool. So you can check us out there. Drop a follow. Drop some comments. Drop some likes, and share all the videos. But until next time, make sure you social distance, masks, and everything. Yeah. Don't get the Rona, and see ya. Thank you.
And don't forget, Gardner Minshew is the most electric quarterback in the league. See ya.